Still can't figure out how to play the theme music yet.
It sounds like the Doctor Who song, though.
Yeah, kind of drifted into that. Hey, everybody, how's it going? This is a special afternoon version of Midnight's Edge After Dark. I am, of course, Rob Robot Shlomo, coming from Shabby Road Studios. I am full of a chicken and vegetable wrap, and
I'm still eating my lasagna here, so
there you go.
And that's all right. You got time to bitch then. But anyway,
with as always, Mr. Tom Connors. Say hi.
Yes, I always step on my opening. I always do. It's like a thing. I can't.
Yeah, that's okay. And with us is random game user bot 42.
that works.
That sounds like her Chinese knockoff toy. See here, it's Mecha Random, but it's not. It's random game user 42 bot.
That works.
Same thing.
Whatever.
Same thing, different day. Hello.
How's it going?
Random game user 42 bot toy.
Oh, it's on now. It's on now. Random game user 42 bot. You make much fun with.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, everyone. We got.
It's not even 5 minutes yet. You can't get racist yet, Rob. You got to slow down.
There's plenty coming down that pipe. Okay, everyone.
Like Robert Kopp. Yes, Tyler Bioshock Rodriguez. Exactly like Robert Kopp.
Robert Kopp.
Which I told Rob this, and I got to tell this real fast, Rob, and I know you like this story because I told it to you. I used to date this girl who I basically raised her kid. And one day we're trying to figure out what the hell he wanted to watch. He kept saying RoboBob. We couldn't figure it out if he was talking about like Wall-E or Short Circuit or what is RoboBob. Took us forever to figure out. RoboBob was RoboCop. Yes, this little kid wanted to watch RoboCop. Just sue me.
Tyler Bioshock Rodriguez, the new Mex-Man. Hey, Holmes, last time on the Mex-Man. All right. Like I said, it is about 2:03 here on the East Coast. I am, like I said, I had lunch. I have a chicken and vegetable wrap in me with some spicy hot pepper slices, and I am one unhappy camper at the news that just came down. Oh my God, what did I do to deserve any of this? Dear God, if you could see me. So we got news. The latest, as the title suggests, Alex Kurtzman's latest trick, Travesty, has gotten a 2-season order. Hollywood Reporter, Variety, Deadline, everybody's reporting this. Star Trek animated comedy series gains 2-season order at CBS All Access. Joe Otterson for Variety was reporting this. The Star Trek universe continues to grow at CBS All Access. You call this growth? This is a growth. This is a tumor at this point. Exactly. Just like the magic mushrooms, they grow. The fun, yeah. The streamer has given out an order for 2 seasons of a half-hour animated comedy series called Star Trek Lower Decks. Variety has learned. Developed by Rick and Morty writer Mike McMahon, the series will focus on the support crew serving on one of Starfleet's least important ships. Yeah, the USS Walter Mondale. So it's a laundry ship.
Isn't that what the Orville is?
Walter Matthau, I'm right here. Never mind.
Well, yeah, the Orville is not the flagship. That's the thing. Usually, wherever you see the flagship of the fleet, except the Voyager was a deep space exploration vessel. So, but anyway, this will mark the first animated series on CBS All Access. It will be produced by CBS Animation Productions, CBS Television Studios' new animation arm, along with Alex Kurtzman's Secret Hideout and Roddenberry Entertainment. Ooh, can you feel the awesomeness? Kurtzman and Heather Caden will executive produce alongside with Roddenberry Entertainment's Rod Roddenberry and Trevor Roth and veteran animation executive Katie Krentz. McMahon will also executive produce in addition to writing. Aaron Bayers, who brought McMahon to the project, will serve as co-executive producer. Mike won our hearts with his first sentence. I want to do a show about the people who put the yellow cartridge in the food replicator so a banana could come out on the other. That's everybody. Watch.
Yeah.
Everybody puts those things in the food replicator, you fucking morons.
Yep.
Dear God.
They don't know Star Trek. They don't know anything about how it happens and what the workings of anything in Star Trek.
Oh, should I read like how I think Alex Kurtzman would say? His cat's name is Riker, and his son's name is Sagan. The man is committed. He's brilliantly funny and knows every inch of every Trek episode. No, he doesn't, because you wouldn't be saying that, you moron.
Oh, you have to start every sentence with "and," because that's what Kurtzman does.
And he does says, and that's his secret sauce. He writes with pure joy, the pure joyful heart of a true fan, as we broaden the world of Trek to fans in all ages. We're so excited.
He's a writer.
And he's a writer. And we're so excited to include Mike and Mike's extraordinary voice. That's how you tell Alex Kurtzman is a poor writer. He throws the word "and" at the start of every sentence, because if you're ever in improv, ever doing improv, and you're doing that game, one word story. Ever hear that? And you guys know that game?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The guy who says "and" always throws up a roadblock.
Yeah.
If I said, like I said, let's try that. I
and
you
and
we
and
Jimmy. That's Alex Kurtzman.
Well, this is how we get. And the planet is my twin, and we were born at the same time. And I worked in the mines, and I'm a princess.
And
yeah. Awesome. And I'm a writer. Yes.
I am a writer.
The series.
Okay, the series is one of several Star Trek projects that Variety previously reported was in development at CBS All Access. In addition to the upcoming launch of season 2 of STD, the streamer also recently announced a series including Patrick Stewart, focusing on Captain Jean-Luc Picard after the events of Star Trek: The Next Generation. Other shows that were reported to be in development at the time include One Set at Starfleet Academy from creators Stephanie Savage and John Schwartz. Look up those two idiots. What have they done? As well as a limited series based around the Wrath of Khan story. As a lifelong Trekkie,
here, I heard my name.
As a lifelong Trekkie, it's surreal
Gray.
and wonderful dream come true to be part of this new series of Star Trek, McMahon said. While Star Trek Lower Decks is a half-hour animated show at its core, it's undeniably Trek, and I promise not to add an episode at the very end that reveals the whole thing took place in a training program. No, you please add that. No, so we all
motherfucker is listening to us.
What is listening?
Motherfucker is listening to us. You dirty bastard.
I'm gonna get my back scratcher. Wait for a second.
Oh, Mr. Kurtzman.
They are listening. They are listening to us. They are. You know why? Because they're waiting for something to drop. They're waiting for us to say something, for an idea that they can steal. That's why.
Yep.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We're not going to give you any ideas, you
go
schmucks.
back. I'm sure at some point one of us said that they're going to bring back Picard just to win back the fans, and if we did, we nail them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure one of us at some point.
I'm sure. Said that. Well, here's an idea that Alex Kurtzman, you know what's really fun? Go underwater and take a really deep breath. That's a great fun
You did that for like 20 minutes last night, didn't you? It's awesome.
Yeah, it's a blast.
You see pretty colors.
Yeah.
Follow
Tom, she's one of us.
One of us.
This is Gabba Gabba, we accept you. We accept you, one of us. Gabba Gabba, we accept you. We accept you, one of us.
More lights. But there are only two headlights.
This keeps going on. This is also the latest instance of McMahon getting a 2-season commitment from a streaming service for an animated project. Back in August, it was announced that McMahon and Rick and Morty co-creator Justin Roiland had received the same commitment from the animated comedy Solar Opposites at Hulu. In 2011, McMahon started a Twitter account where he posted episode plots to a fake season of Star Trek: The Next Generation. They were such a hit that Simon & Schuster hired him to write a reader's guide to a fictitious 8th season of TNG titled Star Trek: The Next Generation Warped. Star Trek: The Next Generation Warped, an engaging guide to the never-aired 8th season. That's because there was no 8th season, you fucking idiot. We couldn't have imagined a better creative team to work with on CBS All Access for first original animated series than Mike McMahon, Secret Hideout, and Roddenberry Entertainment, said Julie McNamara, Executive Vice President of Original Content for CBS All Access. Star Trek is a fantastic compliment to our growing lineup of original series and our ongoing
with the name McNamara is attached to anything, shit's gonna blow up. Anyway, sorry, never mind. That's an old fucking joke for nobody's
Vietnam. That goes back to the Vietnam War.
Rob, I get that joke.
Okay, blah blah blah. Nobody cares. Okay, motherfucker. Oh, God, what? Why? Chris Parsa, Rob, I think your first word was correct. Enema. Yeah, enema.
I could have passed it off as a RoboCop joke, but they named him that after the
Thunder Dan the Action Man. Thunder Dan the Action Man. How did these rejects get Star Trek contracts? Aren't there anyone in Hollywood that not only likes Star Trek?
All you have to do is like Gilmore Girls or Gossip Girls, and you're in.
Yeah.
The only thing you have to do. So get on one of those shows. You're in.
Or fucking tweet about it. God, like where's my show? I've been tweeting about Star Trek for a while now. Oh,
Thunder Dan, go watch that. I keep saying about that interview with Frank Zappa. He keeps saying now you have the hip young executives who think that now they're the final arbiter of taste for the entire country, and they're fucking idiots. Look at Alex Kurtzman. He's supposedly the hip, young, hot writer, the big young, the great young talent, and he's a moron.
Yep.
He's an absolute moron. He doesn't know that everybody puts the yellow card into the food replicator. You only need to watch Star Trek once ever to see that. And even the Next Generation, everybody can operate the food replicators. They're open. Their access is open to anybody. Dear God, these people are so stupid.
Not only that, you have people like Sonequa Martin Green saying, "Oh yeah, I blindly follow what people like Alex Kurtzman tell me." Like, are you that stupid? You're following this idiot who can't even like speak and articulate, and he starts every sentence with "and" when he gives interviews.
And
I know I pick on her a lot, but man, like, question something. Read a fucking script and Google something when you're reading your script. It doesn't take more than like 2 seconds. You have a phone in your hand, most likely. Like, oh.
Like you said, this is not for people. This is not for people who watch television. This is for people who look at their phones. And they are, I don't want to say they're desperate for ideas, but obviously all they're doing is taking a look around and seeing what everybody else is doing. It's like the potato chip argument. Remember the potato chip thing we were saying? Mm-hmm. Everybody has to do the exact same thing. There's like 100 brands of potato chips and they all sell the same thing. They all sell the same chips.
Yep.
You know, don't get me wrong. I love Rick and Morty. I know you don't love Rick and Morty. I love Rick and Morty, but I don't want to see it in a set in a Star Trek universe.
No, that's a terrible idea. Like, even if I liked Rick and Morty, which I can't stand it. I'm sorry, I can't stand it. But you know, and I understand it has its fan base. I really understand that. And Morty, I'll save that rant for my own.
Morty, the broad with red hair doesn't like it's Morty. I'm gonna put you in this transport and where is it happened?
That's all I hear. I just hear noises when I hear Rick and Morty. But no, like, I'll save that for my own channel just to really rip a new one for Rick and Morty. It doesn't belong in Star Trek.
Go inside out. That's very possible, but
no matter what, it doesn't belong in Star Trek. It's a totally different show. I mean, Rick and Morty might work okay on the Orville. Might. And I think it's still a little lowbrow for the fucking Orville, because the Orville tackles intelligent stuff, like about a girl, you know, and all these issues and things with that are they're more complex than something like a Rick and Morty show tackles. We don't need it in Star Trek, especially Star Trek. Oh.
Rick and Morty. No. Here's the thing. Here's the thing they don't understand. Okay. The Orville is a science fiction series, but it's in a comedic wrapper. They still do science fiction.
Exactly.
But it's in a comedic wrapper. It is Star Trek without the stick up its ass, as Doomcock would say.
Yeah. Right, or as I say, it's like when you get to see the bathroom and stuff. But no, it's true. It's more of a satire than a parody.
Yeah, but they still do serious science fiction. Rick and Morty is a spoof of all this. But the only way Star Trek works as a comedy is on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
If you're doing it for 8 minutes for a 6 to 8 minute sketch. But at the same time, like I said, now like the kids they do the mashups. This is a mashup. That's all this is. This is a mashup.
I like mashed potatoes.
You do, old man.
I do with gravy.
You do, old man Picard.
Especially from KFC, but I hear the K doesn't stand for Kentucky anymore.
It doesn't. What does it say? It stand for?
I have no fucking clue. You're just waiting for me to fucking die.
Oh, no.
Colonel Fried Chicken is what I'm heard. But who wants chicken from an old bastard like me? I want touch chicken that I cooked. That's for damn sure.
Mary Ashby. Hey, Mary Ashby. Yeah, Mary Ashby's in the chat. Good. Always nice of Mary Ashby to join us. Our wrench. For God's sake. I keep saying, what did I do in a previous life to deserve this as a Star Trek fan? What? Tell me what I did. Just tell me. I mean, because now it feels like they're deliberately.
Well, there was that time you made me dress up like a schoolgirl. That might be it.
Oh my God, unbelievable. But again, like I keep saying though, I mean, go find that Frank Zappa interview. Like I said, nobody. This to me, it doesn't. If they think, oh, we're taking a bold new channel, we're going a bold. No, this is not a bold direction. This is not a bold direction. Oh, Matt Weiss, thank you for the 40 out. This is not a bold direction for Star Trek. All they're doing is they're doing what other people have tried. This is not bold anything. It's not. You're just taking a look around at the TV landscape. Oh well, this is what the kids like. We might as well do that. You're not doing anything new or different. You're not.
Well, I told you before the show how this happened. This happened because they're like, oh man, fucking Seth MacFarlane's kicking our ass. What are we gonna do? Oh, let's do an animated show. We'll get the guys from Rick and Morty. Fuck him. That's exactly what happened.
Exactly. Neon Visual, thank you for the £2 super chat. Hey, £2. All right. It's just probably and yes. Yeah, and like I said, this. Do you think they were up late one night watching Family Guy and they saw one of the Star Trek bits he did?
Like, this guy's the guy who's kicking our ass.
Oh, and I have people like on my Star Trek videos have the nerve to say, "Oh well, how come CBS All Access and Discovery are such a big hit, and the Orville has a 12% on Rotten Tomatoes?" I'm like, "Oh my God, are you fucking kidding me? You actually believe Rotten Tomatoes with all
you
of
gotta do is turn around and say, you know what? I guarantee you 10 times more people have watched the Orville. Why? Because it's on an actual fucking network and something that people watch, not CBS All Goddamn Access. Pardon my French.
Oh yeah, and not only that, like I spent last night just screenshotting and taking pictures and tweeting out all of the Star Trek Discovery fans that fucking hate me, and every single one of them, I'm like, they're correcting their spelling. You know, they use the letter U instead of the word you. They use the wrong your. You know, they can't spell the word fucking correctly. Like it's pathetic. And I even tweeted it out to the Star Trek writers room. I'm like, this is your fan base. These fucking morons.
I'm channeling George Carlin. If you're gonna swear, spell it right, you fucking morons.
Yes.
Random. When I think of the Star Trek fans hating us, I just think back to FDR. They are unanimous in their hate for me, and I welcome their hatred.
It makes me strong.
Oh yeah. It does. It's like I go through and I'm just like correcting their grammar. I'm like, okay. Like seriously, do you want these fans who oh God.
Sorry, I had to say that. I hope I started trying with that.
Yeah. Well, but this also pisses me off about this, because anyone who sits there and think they're actually taking a chance, I mean, they need to have their head examined. Examined.
If examined means opened up to where their brains spill out and they cease to live, I'll take that.
Yeah,
but
I'm also not wishing death upon them, but accidents happen.
Yeah, take a look at the other programming on CBS All Access. Though you have The Good Fight, which is a Good Wife spinoff. You have the Twilight Zone, and you have STD.
Or they call it The Only Good Show.
Yeah.
Tiberius Monk, 84, $10. You want to read that one, Rob?
Yes, hello. Midnight's Edge After Dark. Star Trek means the world to me. I'm even dressing up as Kirk for Halloween. For Star Trek to become a hollow shell of itself with CBS Access, a show Dr. MLK once supported is a shit. Yeah.
Well, yeah. MLK is the reason that we still had Uhura after the first season, because she was going to leave even midway through, I think it was.
Yeah.
You cannot abandon the Starship Enterprise, Uhura. Nichelle Nichols, we have to see your gorgeous, luscious, chocolatey legs up and down the bridge.
You went in that direction. I was expecting, to actually say what he really did say to her.
Oh, you've got a tight ass on you, mama.
No, that wasn't it either. It's not about the skirts.
Oh, she had a hell of a rack on her.
It's important to not only little girls, but also all African Americans that they see a strong African American lead on television who's actually a member of the crew.
That wasn't in some kind of service job or whatever. Remember Whoopi Goldberg, what she said?
Yep.
When she saw Star Trek, she went running into the other room. Mama, there's a black lady on TV and she ain't no maid.
Yep.
Those are her exact words.
And her mom turned to her and said, "Quit imagining shit." No, I'm just kidding.
I don't.
No, it's true. It's true. It's fucking true. And that's where we get so upset. And this will kind of feed into the next portion when we get to it here. That's why we get so upset when everybody's like, "Oh, you just don't like Discovery because it's got a female black lead in it, blah, blah, blah." It's like, you dumb shit.
Don't you know that Star Trek was the first series to explore the interracial taboo of relations? Oh, that Kirk, he's done come down with the jungle fever.
Yeah, if anyone says I don't like Star Trek.
Sorry, racist Dr. King, go away.
No, it goes. That's the end of that scene. He's like, "Cut." He's like, "You didn't have to force me to do that. I would have done it anyway. I would do it again right now. No cameras.
Michelle, get over here. It's so taboo.
It's not sexual harassment yet for another 30 years."
Yeah, for any of them who say, "Oh, you don't like Star Trek Discovery because it has a black lead on there," like, no, it has a white fucking idiot writing for it. That's why a white man idiot writing for it.
Well, what about Cisco? What about Janeway? All that shit. And they're like, Cisco. I never got into Cisco and Ebert. I'm just saying, they're like, and you're like, you idiots. And it's true. They probably say stupid shit like that, just like the joke we used to make when they're like talking about Gene Roddenberry, and everybody's like, "Oh, who does she play?"
Oh my God. We are in latter days, aren't we? Just
end of days.
The end is nigh, people, at least for Star Trek.
But this is the whole joke, because you guys think you're going to get this far. You're wrong. You're never going to get to the future. You're fucked. It's done. It's over. Like 2022, you're done. You fuck it all up. So, au revoir.
Tiberius Monk, thank you for another $5 super chat. The world needs Star Trek. Its ideals, its hopes for a better tomorrow, and for us to get this bullshit of STD as a slap to the series. CBS do better. Yes, that's what we just want. We just want Star Trek to be better. That's all we really want. Yeah. That's what all of us want.
Don't be dragging me out of mothballs. There's no need for it. I'm dying.
Yes, you are, old Picard.
And all you want to do is parade me out like a puppet for your amusement.
Yes, that's true.
Well, you can a little bit, but not much. Okay, because it is old. That was Midnight's Edge After Dark, brought to you by Tiberius Monk 84.
Viacom is BS, Sony Pictures is BS, and
yes, sir, Matt Weiss.
they're all BS. Yes,
they're all bullshit. CBS has it in their name, corporate bullshit. There you go. That's
NBC is nothing but crap.
That is correct.
Thunderdan Action Man says he never thought about it like that. For all the crap people say about not liking Discovery because of the lead being a black or a woman, the writer is a super white guy. He is. Yeah, they always forget that. Like your showrunner, the head, the main guy behind everything is a super white guy. So tokenism much. This is why I always call them out for like you have your token gays who you kill off immediately, who are just there to parade out for your woke points. You have your token African American.
Now, random. This is Alex Kurtzman. Now, I resent being called a white guy. Now, don't you know? I'm one of the chosen people. Yes, my people wandered the desert for 40 years.
He's not white. Get with the program.
We were kicked out of everywhere. So if I know discrimination, and
I'm a French guy. What? Picard.
I'm the arbiter of taste for the entire country. Don't you know that, Mecha Random? Star Trek doesn't belong to you anymore. We want new fans. And
Kurtzman, is this my new show?
Yes, this is your new show. And
why are you here? And
you can't make this stuff up. I mean, I read the article on a video yesterday, and every single word was and like you're a writer.
And it's not the same thing.
I'm a writer,
but it's true. And I got this story from the guys at South Park, and it's kind of the same thing, but it's not. But they've said that they know they have a bad show on their hands when they're going to the writers and they're like, and then this happens, and then this happens, and then this happens. I have a feeling that that's the same way these shows are put together, though.
The guys from South Park said they said in the writers' room we do not use the word and. We use the words however and therefore.
Yes.
Or but and they say it's something like let's say Butters goes to the video store. However,
okay, there you go.
However, the video store is closed. Now, Tom, you finish it. Now, Tom, you come in.
Therefore, he has to go somewhere else to get Lord of the Rings, so he goes to Cartman's house.
There you go. However, they return.
Kurtzman is screwing a bunch of German guys. I don't know.
She's making a Scheischer video. Therefore, he has to go to tokens. Right? Yes, no, the Danthrax, no, and then. Like you said, you don't, like you said, and I got a feeling Alex Kurtzman's just sitting in the writer's rooms, and then what happens? And then. And then
I'm the planet's sister, and then it's my twin, and then I work in the mines, and then I'm a princess. The end.
That's She-Ra, isn't it?
God.
Yes.
I really do think nobody knows writing. Listen, I took writing classes, okay? I fucking hate reading the shit they were trying to force on me. I kept saying I want to write Marvel comics. Don't you people understand that? I want to write, I love science fiction. I love Star Trek. You people keep trying to beat it out of me. You're not going to do it. Okay? Oh no.
Don't you have any goddamn feelings about that?
And it said, no, but we do serious writing in this class. I'm like, don't you think I think this is serious? Don't you think that I'm doing serious writing too? And like I said, so I played their game for a little while, but I learned enough about writing to be able to do it well. And what they're doing is not good writing. The whole Mud episode is an and then episode. And then Mud is in the space whale. And then he goes and he reverses time. And then Mikey Spock takes the blue pill.
And then we find out we're not even in reality.
Exactly. I mean, nobody knows anything about writing anymore.
And I ride it into the sunset. And then
there are no good writers anymore. There are no Harlan Ellisons. There are no Gino Coons.
Well, there are. They just don't get jobs in Hollywood because they don't kiss the right asses. They're not related to people. They're not the right diversity hire of the month. You know.
We get Alex Kurtzman. We get Noelle Stevenson now. Who we get? Who else? Who's another hack? We get for crying out loud, Akiva Goldsman.
Yeah.
All of them.
This is why I love South Park so much, because you can have your gross out stupid humor, you can have people puking in each other's faces, but at the end of the day, they have social commentary. Right. You can't be a fucking moron to watch South Park and actually get it.
Yeah. Speaking of, didn't I not tell you where the season was going to kind of go?
Yeah.
They basically said in this very last episode, it's like we can't laugh at anything anymore. This world has gone too PC. Yep. And Stan's family moves out of South Park. Mm-hmm. It's beginning. I knew this is what was going to happen.
Well, that they're gonna.
Everybody's gonna start moving away from South Park, and Stan's dad has already pretty much pointed out that they can't laugh at anything anymore because it's not okay.
They're trying to make a point that everything is not. That we've gotten far too serious about these things, that we can't laugh at ourselves anymore. Yeah. Yeah, we kind of figured. Yeah, we kind of figured.
No, I have not seen a video on blacklisted artists for children's cartoons. I'm not sure which one you're referring to, but no, I have. I don't think I have anyway.
So are we done talking about this yet?
Oh, we got more to bitch about. Let's
well, Alex Kurtzman,
you guys have the Melissa McCarthy story up.
Hold on, let me just say, Mike McMahon, hire some good fucking writers, please. Get an actual good writer, someone who actually likes Star Trek in the writers' room, and don't be afraid to tell Alex Kurtzman to shut that stupid fucking face. Shut your dick hole, exactly. Like Alan Kane would say.
I'll be blunt on that one. All right.
Yeah, get in his face. Tell him you're an idiot. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's because we all need that now. If they're going to salvage anything of Star Trek, if anything of Star Trek is going to remain after all this, then somebody needs to tell Alex Kurtzman that he's a freaking idiot.
Alex Kurtzman, you're a freaking idiot. Stop writing.
You're busting my balls here, Alex. You're busting my balls.
Yeah, see that? You got Ryan Johnson saying you're busting your balls.
You're busting my balls here. You can't do this stupid shit. And I'm the guy who killed Luke Skywalker.
Alex Kurtzman makes Ryan Johnson look good, though.
Chris Parza, thank you so much for the $5 Canadian donation there. He says it's all bad robots' fault, eh? They ruined Star Wars, and they moved to Star Trek through Kurtzman. That's correct, sir. Yeah. You are correct there. Have a Labatt's for that. Mm-hmm. Or whatever you
Maple syrup.
Maple syrup. Drink some maple syrup. Maybe that's okay. What feel better.
Let's
just chug a gallon of maple syrup like a super.
Probably the magic syrup of the world. Yeah, it'd probably fix me.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go on to more insanity. This time at the out of the mouth of Melissa McCarthy.
Yes. Yeah. Just when you thought this Ghostbusters thing had kind of like.
It all bled.
Matt Weiss is here. Our good friend Matt Weiss, who I believe is in college right now. But yeah, I'm sure you've heard him on the show from time to time.
Matt, get back to studying.
No, he wants to hear us bitch about Melissa McCarthy's bullshit. Because why? Oh, why? After what? Fucking 2 years now? Over?
Yeah, it's been.
She's got to bring this shit up again.
Not contented well enough alone. Melissa McCarthy. Melissa McCarthy opens up about the. Melissa McCarthy opens up about the Ghostbusters reboot backlash. I'm taking this from Cinema Bland. I know Cinema Blend, but it's Cinema Bland. I'm calling it Cinema Bland.
And everybody who picked this story up, fuck you, and then we're covering it anyway. But you know what? We have a right to. Yeah. Midnight's Edge was behind a lot of this shit, so you know what? Fuck them.
Yeah, fuck you guys. Yeah, you guys. I'm gonna make my Star Wars. Suck my balls.
The Ghostbusters reboot was one of the most controversial films of recent memory, and now Melissa McCarthy has spoken out about it. The actress co-starred alongside Kristen Wiig, Kate McKinnon, and Leslie Jones in a version of the 80s comedy that saw women take over the lead roles. Now, Kate McKinnon's name is in a link here. I don't know why. It's linked to something else.
Click it.
Don't click
it. Better not be porn.
It better be porn.
Okay, it links to a story. It says from 7 months ago. From 7 months ago.
Fuck that. Just get back to the
McKinnon. Oh, good God! They must have sold new ads on that page. Well, anyway, this change was met with This change was met with a pretty serious backlash. But McCartney. Yeah, I wish it was McCartney at this point. But McCarthy doesn't sound.
And your heart
was a Ghostbuster.
And you loved Ghostbusters.
But McCarthy doesn't really understand it. She doesn't understand the backlash. When asked, the actress recently said, I just don't know why people are so afraid of women. It's fascinating to me. Oh, Christ almighty.
You still don't get it.
The negative response to the movie. The negative response to the movie was nearly instantaneous. The movie didn't need to be released in theaters or even to go in production. Simply the announcement that the movie was happening resulted in a vocal negative reaction. This all lasted all the way until the movie came out. Rather than being a simple comedy, Ghostbusters became a cause, and many people took up one side or another. The initial negative reaction, no response, was focused around the fact that new film gender swapped the cast, which does go to Melissa McCarthy's point that many people had a problem simply the fact that the film starred 4 women instead of 4 men. No, it doesn't.
You got a fucking trailer to look terrible, and then you started calling everybody man babies, you fat fucking bitch.
Yeah, the only ones who took up a political side were you guys.
Yes. I hate Melissa McCarthy for this. I hate the movie. This is like where it all started. This is ground zero was Ghostbusters 2016.
She hasn't budged. She hasn't changed. She hasn't seen a fucking thing to get you to realize it has nothing to do with what was between the stars' legs. It had to do with the fact that you're remaking fucking Ghostbusters. Period.
A movie that didn't need to be remade.
Not just that, it's the Citizen Kane of fucking Ghostbuster movies. Period.
Yep.
You don't fuck with that. You can make a sequel.
Well, anyway, she gave a response.
You can make a remake.
Well, of course. Okay. Well, anyway, of course, that wasn't the only specific criticism of the movie. Some simply, okay, here we're getting to some meat and potatoes here. Some simply had a problem with the fact that Ghostbusters was being rebooted at all, regardless of the gender of those in the lead, feeling that doing so in some way.
Saying that though, not McCarthy.
Yeah. Well, that's what you're saying here. But anyway, she has a response to that. Anyway, feeling that doing so in some way did damage to the original Ivan Reitman film that so many had grown up with. To that argument, Melissa McCarthy also gives Yahoo a response. If a movie 35 years later is ruining your childhood, don't blame us. You've got your own issues. So again, it's the fans' fault.
It's you.
Well, anyway, it goes on yada yada yada, and nobody cares. But again,
you are an industry. There should be like 5 or 6 movies you can ultimately go to and say, "Oh no, they should never touch those." Wizard of Oz, Citizen Kane. Oh yeah, never touch that. You know,
The Godfather.
God forbid. Jinx, you owe me a Coke now, or some Coke, either way. You know, there's just shit you don't touch, and Ghostbusters should have been one of those things you don't touch because it was perfect the first time. You can't do that again. They learned that with Ghostbusters 2. You cannot do it again.
Caddyshack? Should Caddyshack be that one of those?
Another one. If they tried to do Caddyshack now, it'd fucking fall flat on its face.
Stripes, probably another one.
That is a little bit. I mean, that one has some possibilities to it. That wasn't as. I wouldn't say that one's as ingrained. Animal House, though.
Yeah, definitely Animal House.
You know, movies like that are so ingrained in culture that it's like, why even fucking try? Ghostbusters is one of those movies, and
well, even like 2001 too. Like that's another one you just can't remake.
But somebody will try at some point.
Yeah.
But the point is like I was saying, it's a little different even than it was back in the 70s and 60s and 50s when they just used to re-release movies all the time instead of doing a lot of remakes. They kind of quit doing remakes a lot of the time.
Back to the Future.
Another one, yeah. I mean, there's just so many movies, and the reason some of these movies are so dear to us is because we grew up in the video age.
Yeah.
And that's what I was getting to is you didn't have to wait 2 years for it to come out in theaters again or see it on TV. You could watch it anytime you want. And Ghostbusters is one of those movies that people memorized.
Oh yeah. Well, another thing, I was pointing this out to someone actually recently about back in the day, in the 60s, 70s, right through the 80s. You had a movie, when a movie was released, it would play for
months,
3 to 6 months, let's say, sometimes a year.
More than that, yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, Back to the Future was playing for over a year straight. It was such a big hit. Star Wars played for 18 months. Bonnie and Clyde for about a year.
And you're talking nonstop without not talking about re-releases even, because that's the thing I was saying before, is before that re-releases were a common thing even up through the 80s. Yeah.
2 or 3 showings a night, for 4 or 5 on the weekends. And it would just every night for a year. It would go from one theater, it would go from the main theater to the cheap theater. And usually stayed the cheap theater for a while. But okay, you would let's just take a movie. Let's just take a movie. And let's just say Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Okay, play at your Cineplex. 1971, 1970, 1971. Played Cineplex for about a year. Then it went away. You didn't see it. It wasn't anywhere. There was no video, no home video, no DVDs, no streaming. And then eventually it would turn up on television.
Yeah, about 2-3 years later. Yeah,
about 2-3 years later, and we get repeated viewings. Like they would show it at 6-month intervals. I think it was. But now movies are with us all the time. They didn't ever really go away, and that's what they don't understand.
Movies, right, and that goes right to the point I was saying. Yeah.
Exactly, and here they come. Actually,
well, I remember my aunt. She was one of the first people I knew who got a VCR. She had a Beta, and the only movie she owned was Wizard of Oz, and that's why she bought that Beta, so she could watch Wizard. And even though that movie was on every single fucking year at the same time,
Thanksgiving usually,
yeah. And I think they moved it to Christmas, but still, point is, it was just one of those things where she wanted to be able to watch that movie anytime she wanted, and she spent all that money on that VCR. Well, of course, she used it for other shit too, but I mean, I'm just saying that was her primary goal. There are so many people where I know their first real reason for getting a VCR was to get their hands on Star Wars.
Yeah, or you would also like record it off TV and then just watch it with the commercials, or record it off of HBO or whatever. Yeah.
Well, Star Wars, I don't think even the first time Star Wars, I think, broadcast on television, I don't think was until at least 1984.
No, it was actually
1980,
actually.
Did they show it in 80?
They showed it on,
because otherwise,
I remember distinctly they showed it in 1980. It was on television, but it was an event. It wasn't a huge event. First time on television. It was on CBS. They had active celebrities saying talking about the first time they saw Star Wars. They had an animated short when the Flintstones talked about the first time they saw Star Wars. It was that big an event.
Rob, the first time I was right was February 26, 1984.
Oh, okay. But still, it was still an event.
Yeah, you're right. It was, yes, and CBS was that was why we never got to see the entire Star Wars trilogy together on television until it was either Spike or TNT or whatever it was bought the rights, because NBC owned the rights to Empire and Jedi, and CBS had the rights to Star Wars, and I believe they only showed it like 4 or 5 times the entire time they had it.
Oh yeah.
Probably cost them that much.
So that makes sense why I remember watching Empire and Jedi more.
Yeah, well, I remember the broadcast premiere of Empire and Jedi because I was camping that weekend, and they showed them one night. They showed Empire, the next night they showed Jedi. It was in '89, I believe. Let me look up the exact date. But
because I remember seeing them a crap ton on like USA Network.
Maybe it was 90
in the 90s. I want to say in the mid 90s. They played it every year in the mid 90s.
Like every Christmas or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was on HBO and Showtime, Rob. Maybe that's what you remember.
Okay.
It was on one or the other. I can't remember if it was HBO or Showtime. I do know that because my cousins taped it for me. But let's see.
Route 66. Do you ever think? Do you think Nickelodeon will ever get a version of Star Trek? Probably not.
NBC premiered them. Like I said. Let's see here.
Joker 79. They only showed Hondo every 17 years, according to Al Bundy. Oh, Peg, I'm gonna miss Hondo.
Somebody asked above, asking questions while I'm looking for this, what our favorite Star Trek Next Generation episodes. You know what my favorite one is, Rob? And
which one is it?
Was the one where they're in the time loop where they're playing poker.
Oh yeah. That's actually a really good one.
I always forget the name of it.
I like the Inner Light. The one where
yeah.
Okay, it was November 22nd, 1987. They actually so I was a couple of years off.
The Inner Light
showed again in '89, so maybe that's when I remember seeing it.
Yeah, the Inner Light where Picard is
showed them back to back.
Where Picard lives 50 years, lives an entire lifetime on another planet, but it's the civilization. They actually launched the probe and they sought him out.
Yeah, Cause and Effect is the one I like. Thank you, Dead X-Man.
Call
you Dead Mex-Man.
But there's that moment at the end of the Inner Light where they open the probe and they give him the case.
Yeah, with the flute.
And he opens it with the flute, and then he just starts playing it.
Yeah,
it's just this wonderfully beautiful moment. Though it's actually tear jerking. It's just so tragically beautiful and heartbreaking. But find me a moment like that in STD. You can't. It's impossible.
No,
because they don't get it. They really
that's
don't.
One of our bigger gripes, and not only that, we only know 4 characters on the show by name.
Yeah,
the rest we're not supposed to give a fuck about. You know.
I had somebody tell me that STD had some sort of struggle with. God, what the hell was it? It was such a weird comment where I might have to look it up. I'll look it up. I totally forget what they were saying.
What are you talking about?
No, it was some like sort of struggle with like the humanitarian stuff and crap. I'm gonna have to look it up. I can't remember. It was
go ahead and look it up.
Comment, but yeah.
No, I love the thing I loved about Star Trek: The Next Generation is even though I wasn't a huge fan as a kid when it was actually on. I knew all the characters' names, and that was because I'd seen a couple episodes, and they did such a great job, and almost in that Stan Lee Marvel kind of way. It was like you got to remember everyone could be somebody's first, so you got to kind of give them a little something in the story, to kind of tell you who this person is, and what they're all about. And they did that so well on TNG that you got to know these guys. Same thing with the original series, is you knew all those characters, you fell in love with them instantly.
Yes. One of my other favorite ones was the one where everybody where there's the power failure on the Enterprise. And Picard is trapped in the turbo lift with the children. Let me see. It is Disaster. Yes, it's actually he's trapped in the turbo lift with the children. Troy has to assume command. And Worf has to deliver Keiko's baby. I'm like, but you see, everybody is in a position where they're out of place.
Yeah,
and that's great. I mean, but that's great. It shows you a different side of them. And Worf's there with Keiko. Congratulations, you have dilated to 10 centimeters. You may now give birth. He's just like so strict.
Sounds like you're getting married.
Yes.
Quote random you were saying?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I found it. So somebody asked me about the theme of nature versus nurture in Star Trek Discovery.
Oh please, there is no theme.
I know. Like what were you watching? Like I don't remember that being a theme.
They would
in
imply
Discovery.
that the writers have actually read a book or at least went to class on writing.
Yeah, because I don't remember seeing that at all.
Read the quote. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was. What do you think about nature versus nurture theme set over season 1? Have you considered this when forming your judgment over the show as a whole? Yeah, and and it was a huge, very long comment, and none of it really applied to Star Trek Discovery. And did you watch the same show that I watched? Because there was no nature versus nurture in Star Trek Discovery. There was nothing. I mean, you had one little moment of the one thing that she got right in this comment was that Tilly was kind of nice to Ash Tyler.
Tilly's got nice.
When she's like, oh, you were kind of tortured by the Klingons, come sit with us at lunch. That was like the most Starfleet moment in all of the thing. Like that. But other than that, it was such a weird comment.
There was
we got a $5 super chat.
Oh hey, $5 super chat.
Again, 84.
Like a Monk coming type. Here's Monk 84 coming through like a boss with another $5 super chat.
He's definitely our sponsor today.
Captain Kirk is my favorite Star Trek captain. He's deeply flawed, but has a real leadership qualities I love. How do you feel about Kirk? I freaking love Kirk. I think Kirk is the best.
Kirk is the man.
But there was a the legend,
the everything.
Yeah, there was actually. I was kind of bummed though that episode Disaster because there was a crewman on the bridge. She was at comms and she was, crewman at comms and she was, she was killed in the first 10 minutes. I'm like, oh darn, she was kind of cute.
Oh shit.
But anyway,
to go back to the whole Ghostbuster thing, because Matt brought it up before too, and it's true. Matt Weiss, that is. Schumacher at least had the gumption to go out there and go, I'm sorry, I made a big mistake. We rushed into Batman and Robin. My heart wasn't in the right place. A lot of it had to do with just making more toys, and I'm sorry I made a subpar film. He apologized for it. He took the blame. You will never hear Paul Feig go out and say, well, it was probably a mistake to take on something like Ghostbusters that's just so ingrained in American pop culture. And I understand where there was so much pushback. And even though we did have some sexist pigs out there, I do understand now why the original fans were so upset that we decided to remake this instead of making it a sequel. Do you realize how many people would actually forgive that son of a bitch?
Yeah.
I probably would. I'd have a hard time not.
He can even apologize without even apologizing. Well, you know what? Maybe we made some mistakes. Maybe
exactly.
We could have done. We could have done some things differently.
Let's just cut the shit here.
The DCV Titan. $5 Canadian super chat. Maple syrup and Labatt's. Woohoo! The nature versus nurture portion is nurturing Vulcan upbringing of Mikey Spot versus Mikey Spot being a natural born fuck up. Nature versus nurture. There is no nature versus nurture on Star. It's the nature versus nurture. Oh. But Tyler Vach. But actually, no. There was a great. Oh, wait a minute. There was a great one. There was a great episode of Star Trek: Next Generation. Hold on. It's stretched while I look up.
Well, pretty much any of them. Like the Measure of a Man is wonderful. What's the episode? Data's Daughter. Is that the name of the episode? I can't remember.
Sounds like The Measure of a Man is wonderful. Sounds like the name of a Joel Schumacher film as well.
Well, that's the one where they decide. Starfleet comes in. I think that's the one where it's Starfleet.
I'm waiting for a gay joke there. I apologize.
Yeah. Well, where the Starfleet comes in and decides Data is property and is going to go and get transferred away.
I will apologize for that movie. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
There was actually two episodes she was in. The Ensign Cito, who was a minor character. She appeared in 2 episodes. She was in an episode where I don't know if you saw. They showed some of the other under crewmen.
That's
and
a Schumacher movie as well.
The under crewmen.
I can see it now.
Actually, you know what?
Young teenage men with long hair running on the beach. Get under my crew, man.
It's not even an original title. It's not even an original fucking title. Star Trek Lower Decks. They're taking it from a TNG episode.
Oh,
Lower Decks.
That's how they know how to do.
Season 7, episode 15. First aired February 7th, 1994. 166 out of 176 produced. All they do is recycle better cast. And this was a great episode.
Yeah.
They showed Nursakawa. They showed another guy, Ensign Cito, who was in a previous episode about Nova Squadron. Remember when Wesley's friend got killed?
Yeah.
Performing the dangerous maneuver? And they would show them, and she volunteered for a dangerous mission, thinking, oh well, this is a great way to advance my career, and she ends up getting killed. And she ends up getting killed because her shuttle or escape pod or shuttle gets destroyed coming across the neutral zone. And it's another one of those things. Like, it's one of those things. Like, oh my god, it's one of those things. There are some terrible consequences to being captain.
Yeah.
And you can see Picard. He's like you can see Picard, his face. He says, "I'm responsible. Her death is on." Without saying so much, but her death is on me. I shouldn't have. He was like, I shouldn't have pushed her into this. He didn't have to say it, but you could see it on his face. And again, something like that would be more interesting than an animated comedy. Dear God.
That's because they can't do drama, so they're like, oh well, let's try our hand at comedy now because we can't get drama and heavy, deep moments, right?
And they can't do comedy either.
No, they can't.
Ensign Cito, female, Bajoran, Federation Staff Ensign Security Officer, deceased, killed in action, 2370, played by Shannon Phil, who was pretty darn cute herself. Let me see if I could do this with share the screen here.
Oh, yeah, I have her in Star Trek Timelines.
Confused with Jill Shannon.
No. Let me see if I can share the screen here. Hopefully, it's all. Open this in a. Can I do this? Let me just pull that out.
So, what do they think they're going to accomplish by making these shows that nobody wants? You know, like we would love a well done, like, Lower Deck sort of series. They're not going to do it though. Like they're going to make it so stupid and ridiculous. It's it's going to be Rick and Morty with Star Trek, which they're fine on their own. Don't put Rick and Morty as Star Trek. That it doesn't work. Stop mashing this shit up. Rick and Morty and Star Trek is not peanut butter and chocolate.
I like mashed potatoes and I like peanut butter and chocolate.
Well, yeah, peanut butter and chocolate are fine. Putting Rick and Morty in Star Trek, though, is like putting Tabasco sauce on peanut butter.
What's a Rick and Morty?
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds like something I did in college.
There you go. Lower Decks. That was a good episode. That was a really good episode. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
And it was he was a good roommate.
We read the title card.
Rick and Morty. He was the Rick, I was the Morty.
Okay, now I finally got this to work. Now I'm dangerous.
There we go. Now you're figuring it out. I got you up here. You're good.
I'm dangerous now.
It's dangerous.
Okay, stop screen sharing.
That was by Michael Jackson.
All right, but I have to pop out I have to open a new window to really screen share it. At least in Vivaldi. Oh God! But anyway, Doomcock news alert. Doomcock's going with a news alert, so we're not.
Oh, he just posted it. I just retweeted it, and you can check it out because we're done. Which we're not going to be too much longer, probably.
Yeah, but anyway, we got a couple more minutes here. We got 116 people watching. Thank you for joining us today. Yes. And for more Star Trek stuff, actually go over to Captain Robert April's channel. Subscribe to his channel. We're trying to get him to. We're trying to get him to get remonetized. He needs 1,000 subscribers. Go over there, click subscribe, and like I said, what does it cost you, really? So I'm subscribed. You're subscribed. Everybody can be a subscriber too. Be a subscriber. Be Captain April subscriber. The doctor's not okay. So,
just like the man joke. Thanks a lot. No, but yeah, wow. I can't believe you guys have all showed up. This is success. We've been trying to see how doing some daytime shows goes, and looks pretty good so far. This one has been brought to you by Tiberius
Monk
84. I want to get the name right. Tiberius Monk, yeah. And the TVC Titan and the DCB Titan. Yes. I think we had a couple more earlier on too, but hey, we love the super chats. Of course, you don't have to give them those, but we appreciate them, and they help us eat. They help Rob eat.
Yeah, except there should be a stipulation. It cannot be spent on coleslaw, because I love coleslaw, but does some terrible things to me.
Yes, we'll put a stipulation in there. You don't have to spend it on coleslaw.
DCV
to buy DCV Titan, I thought.
Yeah, DCV Titan. What came in late? They're making an anime comedy series for Star Trek. I can only see that movie set in Quarks and making it like Cheers.
Yep.
And they've and they ripped off the end of the title of a TNG episode, called a really good TNG episode for its title. I wonder if they actually know it's a TNG episode.
Wasn't that what that group was supposed to be there for?
They probably don't. They probably just said, "Hey, we've never seen this. Let's do this." And they don't know because these people, their little continuity people, don't actually know. They're, oh yeah, we have all these Star Trek fans on set, and no, they don't. They've never actually sat down and watched it. They probably watched it 20 years ago, don't remember a goddamn thing about it, and no, they don't. They don't remember an episode. Oh. It's so bad.
It's in Captain April. Today's video brought to you by the letters F and U. Oh my God! Well, this has been a fantastic episode. Actually, speaking of fantastic, we got to see if we can get Egotastic Fun Time guy on.
He commented on one of my videos, and I told him, "Hey, the Midnight's Edge guys want you on." So, yeah, hopefully he read the comment or saw the response.
Well, who the Egotastic
Midnight's Edge guys hate you? Oh, fuck them.
Guy. Who else?
I'm just saying that's telephone. That's how it works. Somebody's going to tell them. Somebody's going to tell some of their friends.
Yeah, we got to get Captain April on. We got a lot of people we got to get on.
Yeah, well, we do.
Yeah. So anyway, we got anything else to cover here? But while I'm still fully outraged. I just saw those guys because
what else happened?
Captain April, you know why we never saw those guys? Because those systems are automated. There are no guys. I'm like, yeah. All those systems are automated. Tea Earl Grey hot. I'm like, that's why we don't see anybody putting the food into the replicator, putting the card into the replicator. You idiots. The only time you see anybody is when they say, Chief O'Brien, report to 10-4. Don't have any problems with replicator again.
Yeah, only when it's broken.
Only when it's broken, and he takes a screwdriver, makes a couple adjustments. And then Chief O'Brien, I'm in Newcastle. Let's see, Newcastle, the heat cool to 60 degrees Celsius. That's a fine Newcastle. So, I didn't know he's Irish. He said, I'm a Guinness. Chief O'Brien would be drinking Guinness, wouldn't he? Because he's Irish. Yeah, don't leave me hanging out here, guys.
I think he would be drinking Guinness, probably, right?
Yeah. Picard was drinking ale one time. Remember when they locked him in the cage with the other alien species, and they were performing an experiment to see how they all cope, and there was the doppelganger. He went to the doppelganger went to 10 forward. I'll have an ale. Ales for everyone. Just like, and then he started singing. It's tradition that we often break into a song.
Well, that's because TNG was fun and it was a good series and it had fun moments and deep moments and it wasn't preachy and it wasn't trying to do anything like that. It wasn't.
Yeah. Nah, Marty 3P, Newcastle's in the north of England. Oh, don't get me wrong.
I've been there, actually.
Oh, yeah. My brother Dave was supposed to. Oh, another brother Dave story. Ready for this one? My brother Dave was supposed to go to Newcastle for his job. He was a beer salesman. He was Newcastle. His distributor used to handle all kinds of beer. Newcastle, Guinness, Boddingtons, Fuller's. He used to carry a lot of British stuff. So he was the leading new salesman that year in this area. So they said, okay, we're going to fly you you can fly you to London. We're going to pick up the tab. You just got to go to the Newcastle Brewery up north. And you got to just, hey, this is Dave from America. As your leading salesman in the north, in this, the New England area. Hey, Dave, how's it going? Okay. Then you got 5 days to yourself. Okay, fine. I was supposed to go with him, but my dearly departed dog got sick and I had to take care of her. Aww. So I had to vet bills. Oh, well, yeah, I love my dog. So, but I'm always, you can understand. You can understand why. So, I'm like, I said, listen, Dave, I got vet bills. But pick me up a couple things. Okay, fine. So he drives to Kennedy. He takes Xanax about 10 minutes before he gets on the plane. And in true Dave fashion, he gets on the plane, belts himself in, starts hyperventilating, jumps out of his seat, runs up the plane, runs up the aisle of the plane, runs up the jetway, hyperventilates in the terminal. Flight attendant, sir, we're getting ready to take off. You want to try again? No. That's okay. You want to try again? Oh, okay, no problem. You want to try again tomorrow? No, that's okay. Door closes, plane takes off. He drives home. He gave up. He's such a neurotic. He gave up a free trip to London. And I said, you took a Xanax and then you drove home. You were safer staying on the plane.
Yeah.
Dear God. And I was furious at him because I'm like, how could you? How could you? I did make it to London. I made it to London 12 years. It took me 12 years, but I did make it to London. Eventually without him. But he says, he keeps saying, I want to go to England. I'm like, I want to go to England. I want to go to England. I want to go to Liverpool. I'm like, yeah, you pull your shenanigans. I'm going to leave you there.
Just go without him.
Yeah, Tyler Bioshock Rodriguez. That is Woody Allen neurotic. Yeah. He won't take a train. He won't take the Metro North train to New York because he doesn't want to be closed in. When it was the first time he ever flew, he flew to Bermuda on his honeymoon. We had to convince him that the airlines had dug tunnels through the mountains. He said, so I could jump out and still got a chance? Yeah, you're gonna be traveling. You're gonna hit the ground at 400 miles an hour, you moron. Okay.
No, I would love to go back to London. I didn't see London. I saw Newcastle. So I saw the airport. I saw Heathrow.
Yeah.
I'd love to go back to England someday.
England's cool though.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the airport, but
yeah, with Catherine Robert Abel, someone gave me a free trip to the UK. I ain't coming back. I don't blame you at this point. But there was yeah, he has a lot of weird idiosyncrasies. Like I said, he insults celebrities whenever he meets them. He does a lot of weird shit. Like you said, that's my idea for a show. My brother Dave. My brother Dave. Now, CD Horde, London is nice, but it's been gentrified. It's very expensive to live in London, to be in London now. It's about New York. The beer and stuff's about New York prices, $7 for a Stella, you know? I mean, yeah. Mecca saw London, Mecca saw France. I saw Mecca's underpants. Okay, we got anything else?
I don't think you have.
Not much.
Just take a picture of them and then just like when they're draw.
I know a rant about Sony a little bit, but
what's the rant about Sony?
Oh no, Matt wanted to come on and rant about Melissa McCarthy a little bit.
Yeah.
A
Captain
resident
April.
Sony.
Yeah, Captain April. London is fun, but wouldn't want to live there. London needs a baseball team. That's what London needs. That's to make it perfect. Yeah. Well, just one last thing. Tyler Bioshock. He's the guy that would tell Paul McCartney that John Lennon's Revolution 9 is better than his music. No, but he would ask Paul McCartney if he's really cheap. That's what he said to Pete Best. He said to Pete Best at the Beatle convention. I've told this story before. Hey, Pete, you hide your anger well. You get together with Alan Williams, their first manager, and talk about all the money that went down the drain. That takes balls. That takes like, you're lucky. I'm like, that really does. Okay. Well, anyway,
does he not realize he's insulting them?
Yeah, he does, but he doesn't care.
Oh
well, they're gonna remember me. Yeah, they're gonna remember you. And I actually said to him one time, everybody you say celebrity, this guy's a creep, that guy's a creep, that guy's a creep. So because they gotta deal with people like you all day. Hey Pete, you hide your anger well? Come on. All right. Well, anyway, let's wrap it up there. So if you like what we do, and if you like hearing about stories about how Pete Best, former Beatle, was insulted, you can hit subscribe. You can click the bell icon. That way you're notified of all the latest content. You can head over to Patreon. You can check out our goodies over there. We got all kinds of tiers. You get early notification of mini documentaries, uncut audio, bloopers, outtakes, lost episodes, behind the edge making of videos, all that and more. You can support the channel for as little as $1 a month. So, and like I was saying,
we're gonna work on doing like a Discord party thing too.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we'll have Discord sessions. Yeah, that sounds like fun.
We should do that.
Yes, and like I said, and actually, we're gonna be donating. We're gonna have exclusive win a date with random. No, we're not gonna have that. So no, we're not gonna have that.
See, that would be more of a Patreon tier on my side.
I was gonna say we tried to do the win a date with Rob, but people paid us to take it down.
Yeah, so, anything. This is like anything. Yeah, lime green polyester leisure suit. Just no. But anyway, check us out.
You didn't pick the best picture.
Yeah, Check us out on the main channel. Click subscribe. Click the bell icon there. Random, tell them about your channel.
I'm MechaRandom42 over on YouTube, and actually just click my name. I am gonna go live real quick, like in like 5 minutes. It's probably gonna be a super short stream because I don't want to stream hop on top of anybody else today. But yeah, I kind of have some rants to get out, and I didn't want to like step on you guys ranting. I talk about Star Trek. I talk about Ghostbusters and SJW bullshit and She-Ra bullshit, and yeah, I have Patreon, Twitter. You can always get a hold of me on Twitter. And yeah, it looks like I'm probably going to be playing Red Dead 2 sometime very soon tonight.
There you go. I'm supposed to have that by tomorrow from the mail, but I got work to do, so I don't know how much I'll be able to play. But maybe if you can do like some kind of team play, we should all do that.
I don't know. It's a single player game, so I have no idea. I'd probably have to pay to do an account.
Or something that'd be awesome.
Route 66 wants to visit towns near Glasgow where his ancestors lived. I want to visit Scotland, so I go to the Oban distillery.
But we've seen a lot of fresh faces here, at least faces we don't always get to see. So
that's probably
hopefully we'll get to do these a little more often. So
So anyway, thanks everybody for joining us. Again, go check out Captain Robert Abel's channel. We're trying to get him over 1,000 subscribers to get him remonetized. Check out Overlord DVD. Check out who else's channel? We got a lot of other people.
It looks like Captain April and probably a few other people said, can you make it in 10 minutes random? Because they want to check out Doomcock's new video quick.
Well, yeah, it'll take me like 10 minutes to set up, but
yeah.
There you go. So head on over to Mecca's channel after you watch the Doomcock video. She's going to start streaming here in a little bit.
I've got a channel actually too, Robot Shalom.
Yes, you do.
There. Check us out on
Robot.
Yes.
That's the other one. Never mind.
So anyway, like I said, check out everybody's channel. Like I said, again, subscribe to Captain April. Subscribe to our friends. Monday Matt. We don't harbor any ill will against him. Thanks everybody for joining us on a special midday stream, and we will catch you next time.